welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port, and today it is the special edition of the Barnes and Michael Show. How you doing, bud?
I think it's only right. This is how we kick off the weekend.
Yeah, the weekend, and here we are.
I need to be here because you've been depressed. I've watched you. I'm here to make you happy, Barnes. I'm here to shed light. I guarantee you, watch. They sweep this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, that would be huge. We need good vibe. We will get into it in a sec, but there was some good news in terms of a top prospect joining the team in Tampa, so we'll talk about that in a second. A lot to discuss. Big trade in the NBA yesterday. We really got to start with that. So let's go to the world of the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls go! LeBron James at the buzzer! He banks in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
Oh, just a bit high. That was close.
For people who can't quite tell on camera, that's a tough shot.
Yeah.
Sideways. I mean, that sideways normal shot is tough.
Sideways with the light. It's just a lot going on.
And I believe we have a comment.
I didn't see it. Here, it just came up for me. But for Yankees are doomed. They are facing Tampa Bay and Boston. 6 + 6 = 12 games in September. Boston will love Yanks postseason. See, this is it's typical haters.
You know what it is it's Prefer obviously on a daily basis sees the tough time that I'll admit that I give Tony regarding the Mets, and he's came to his defense, and kind of counteracted that,
which I appreciate, of course.
But prefer just hold on 1 second. We're just gonna talk a little NBA before we get to baseball, and obviously the big news coming across yesterday as the Cleveland Cavaliers acquire Donovan Mitchell, trading Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton, and Ochai Agbaji to the Jazz. And they also are giving up future first-round picks in 25, 27, and 29, as well as the ability to swap 26 and 28. And of course, Donovan Mitchell, the Greenwich native, had been rumored to go to Michael's Knicks for a very long time. There had been trade discussions between both clubs, but they ended up taking the package with Cleveland. And all along, you've said, you didn't want to give up RJ. You were kind of good with the team the way it is. You want to build with your guys. So at the end of the day, you must be pretty ecstatic that they didn't give up the farm for Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland is in a better situation to give up the farm than the Knicks are. They have more. Like, I like Garland, Allen over any, like, Julius. The only person I like on the Knicks really right now the most is RJ to compare. So when they put his name in there, it was over for me for the trades. And they finally did what Knicks fans don't want them to do, and it's listen to them, because Knicks fans are stupid. And, there might be games that we might be able to win if we had a Donovan. But, I guarantee you that we're going to be happy and better off with our core guys still here.
And one thing that I am seeing on NBC Sports Edge here is that their last trade proposal was going to be RJ Barrett, IQ, and 2 unprotected first-round picks, and that none of their offers to the Jazz included Quentin Grimes. Are you surprised that they're holding him in such high regard?
No, he had a really good season last year. and I think he's only just going to get better.
Is he a starter? Is he a sixth man? I mean, what is he?
We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, but you think is he?
Apparently, he's a beast.
But I haven't really watched him too much. I mean,
Full
what's his
throttle,
strong point?
He just does it all.
Yeah.
He's very athletic. He could push the ball. He could play half court. He could shoot. He could dunk. He could play defense. He really does it all. It's just, you got to see if Coach Thibs plays him, how is Quickly going to do? Is Derrick Rose coming back, which apparently he's not? There's a lot of what ifs.
And it's funny, the notes say, we'll see if there's an open competition between Grimes and Evan Fournier for a spot in the starting lineup. Do you chuckle at that notion?
I hate that Fournier is even here, even though he's playing well in FIBA.
But I mean, you don't want him, but if he is going to be on the team, I mean, do you think
he needs to play well?
But do you think because of how bad he is defensively that he's better off coming off the bench, or what do you think?
Maybe starting but not finishing, because then you don't have to worry about him if it's a close game.
Yeah.
And you could get the early buckets. He has the most energy early on. Play the most defense he'll play all game in the beginning.
It's a shame too, because listen, at the end of the day, I mean, he's nothing special. We all know that. But at the same time, I feel like Evan Fournier, if he was on the Bucks, the Nets, the Warriors, a team like that, I do feel like he would be perfect in that role. But it's the fact that he gets this big contract from the Knicks, relatively big. I mean, I guess not compared to some of the other deals we see. And I just feel like it seems like he's just not worth it because, like I mentioned, no defense, and then very inconsistent in terms of, you'd watch him one game, you'd say, this guy might be a borderline all-star. He's probably one of the best shooters in the league. And then you'll see him go 0 for 10.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? The opener last year? I think they ended up being the Celtics. It was triple overtime.
Who's that? The Knicks?
The Knicks, but they were so out of gas and they kept hucking up threes, and he was hot for a little bit and then just kind of faded off.
He's a bum.
So I'm just looking at Grimes here. Last year, 6 points a game, 17 minutes, and shot 38% from 3-point range. He gives you size at 6'5". It'd be interesting to see, if he's someone that, they're going to build upon. And do you think that, RJ is at all offended that he was in that package? And, he did sign the extension, obviously, but do you think that causes any type of issues at all?
No, I think it's just momentum. He wants to prove himself.
Yeah.
And he will.
And he's got
a lot of slack.
Basically 5 years to prove himself. I mean, I don't think you could get a better bargain because mean, now it's 4 years, 120, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got the last year of the rookie deal, which I would imagine, is probably $7 million or something, $7-8 million. I mean, that's a pretty good deal. And what is he, 23 at this point?
21.
He's 21.
Yeah,
wow.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, that's nice that you have
22.
Just
turned this summer. So he'll be 22 all year. He's going to be 23 next year. He is. And that's the thing. Donovan's 25. How old is he?
I don't want to say he's 27. 26 or 27, if I had to guess.
25. September. He's turning 26.
26, yeah. So, and then you think about it.
That's 5 years. So, in 5 years, RJ will be his age.
Right.
Or a couple years younger.
Yeah.
And then he'll be going into the same stage he's going into basically now of his career. And he'll be what? Paul Pierce at the end of his career, maybe?
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't, if I were him, I'd be like, I don't care how good Cleveland is. It's a shit state. It's a shit organization. Shit marketing.
Yeah.
I would have gone to Miami if I were him.
Yeah, I mean,
something
I'm sure
like that. New York
would have preferred. I think what's one of the things is the player specifically.
Yeah,
he loves that, but the city probably doesn't. But I think, I don't know. I guess it's it's tough. But at the end of the day, I mean, if basketball is your number one priority, I think you kind of just work with wherever you
Exactly.
have
Yeah.
to live.
If you don't care, then that's fine.
So I think he should be able to, have some good chemistry with those guys. And I didn't realize we talked about this before the show. I think I was getting Abaji mixed up with Okoro. So Okoro actually stays in Cleveland.
Oh, nice.
So someone to work with as well. Now, as far as the Jazz, I mean, do you feel they got a good package back? Do you think it's a trade that makes sense for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think they could have gotten more for him if they got less for Gobert.
Yeah,
That makes
that's
sense.
true. But now, I mean, geez, I think they have like 7 extra first round picks plus 2 swaps. I mean,
Oh, you know who they're going for?
who?
I forgot. That's what they're doing. They're
Oh,
for that 7'3" French
so
18-year-old.
is he like a hybrid like swingman forward
Dude,
or
he's a forward, yeah.
okay, but he like has vision
Yeah.
and yeah.
It's crazy. There was this guy, he was a lefty. He played in like Serbia or something, and he was a 7'3" point guard in the 90s. And he never made it to the NBA because by the time he was noticed, he was already 30 or 27 around that age, and he would have made more in Europe than in the NBA, so he stayed.
Wow.
So it's not like it's just I'm curious to see, like, dude, already Chet Holmgren injures himself. Porzingis injury prone. It seems like these tall dudes who want to be fucking guards just get injured all the time.
Yeah. And I mean, we see all these injuries in every sport all the time. I mean, does it go back to like too much training? I mean, is that what it is? Or
Yeah.
guys, but then also like the
growth
defense and
spurt,
stuff.
yeah,
Like
men
guys are too
going up against
fast.
men, not boys anymore type stuff. The wear and tear, it's all accumulative.
And then you think some hidden like steroids, HGH type of shit or not?
It depends. Like, I think dudes, once they get into the league, definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of them. A lot of our favorite people too. And I think remember when, like, I'd say, I forgot what year, 2010 maybe 11, Rashard Lewis got caught for the PEDs. Remember?
Yeah.
He was the scapegoat for the league. Because I think at the time, 2010 was D Rose's rookie. I mean, not rookie, MVP season.
Yeah, because he was 08
and
draft,
apparently he was on there, and some of the other guys in Miami, if you know what I'm talking about, and Orlando, that guy over there, and Durant, even people say, because if you look at him too, he was really, really skinny. Giannis.
Yeah.
Just certain people. Derrick Rose, though, was a big name. I remember back then. It was like, okay, this is the only guy in the NBA that's doing it.
And do you think though, like that it's in any sport, like too much is made of, HGH, steroids, like whatever it is, like that? It's like at the end of the day, if you could ball, you could ball. Like they shouldn't even worry about that. Or I mean, what do you think?
I do agree with the whole thing. Like, in baseball, for example, you still have to hit the ball.
Yeah. So are we? Baseball is trying to say that Barry Bonds didn't exist, and would have been nothing. And it's like he was already an MVP before the steroids. And I know, sure, it doesn't look good, illegal, this and that, but then it didn't start testing till whenever, and it's just like I don't know. I don't think it's going the right way, and it's just odd too that the Hall of Fame, the Major League Baseball has no affiliation with the Hall of Fame, technically speaking. They don't own it. They don't have any power. That doesn't make any sense.
It's so stupid.
But I guess also, I mean, it's like, the Hall of Fame is just a museum, and it's nice to say you're a Hall of Famer, but it's like Barry Bonds knows he's a Hall of Famer. But he kind of like his life right now should be like he should be way better received than he is. And you see how A-Rod is like a lot of people still don't like A-Rod, but just, he was basically the same thing as A-Rod and Bonds was. And it's like A-Rod at least has some people that like him, and he's able to make relationships. I mean, maybe Bonds doesn't want to be, but he has no shot to be in the media, because he spurred all these reporters and media members, when he was playing. He didn't want to talk to anybody. He wanted to give him the time of day.
I know, it's crazy. Now it's biting him in the butt.
So, I just kind of think, that's interesting. So let's see, is training camp is next month for NBA?
Maybe
I
this
think
month.
okay.
The NBA starts in October.
So yeah, you would think probably end of this month if I had to guess, based on that. Um, and
We'll have a preview.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I guess I'm seeing something else on here, which I almost forgot he was still on the team, but I guess Cam Reddish is denying that he requested a trade. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I almost, and I guess the Lakers are interested. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted the trade. I mean, they didn't play him enough. Do you think that, Thibs will give him a shot, or do you think he's going to end up getting moved and he doesn't really want him?
Say it again. I'm so sorry.
Reddish, like, do you think
yeah,
he'll
it's
get
tough. If they move him, I'll be upset because Knox was traded for him.
I mean, it's just like, just give him a shot.
I know.
And then let's see. Also, Mark Stein tweeted this out that Westbrook and Pat Bev have already been in contact since becoming Laker teammates. And Darvin Ham, I kind of forget Darvin Ham's even the coach, has told him he has lineups in mind to play Russ and Pat Beverly side by side. Is that one of the bigger jokes you've ever heard?
No, I'm excited when they go up against Clay and Steph, and it's just like 3 brick. 3, and you look at your tight already, you're seeing it. Before you know it, it's freaking 21-0.
You know what just annoys me though? It's like they like Westbrook, Beverly, like maybe not in the same lineup, but just on the same team. Like they actually like could be competitive and could be good, but it's like it's Beverly, I think actually is for a backup point guard, like is not bad. But Westbrook, like if he just drove and just gave up the 3-point shot, like I don't know. Like, don't you think he would be like decent? I'm not saying, he'd be all-star level Russell Westbrook, but don't you think like he would be like pretty good? With all the attention on AD and LeBron, like I mean, it's like you can't double team Westbrook. He could drive to the lane, like he can get past people. He's not like he's slow. He's just an idiot.
I know it's tough. Maybe we'll see. Maybe this year he'll play better.
Dude, Lakers have a winning record this year.
Yeah,
but like a 6 seed.
No,
a
I
fifth
think.
seed.
I think they're going to be in the top 5.
Yeah,
they will.
Um,
It's no way LeBron is not going to have.
I mean, it really just LeBron and AD just need to be healthy, and then we could worry about the other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we'll see NBA around the corner, and obviously, as we get closer, I'm sure we'll talk about it more, and like you said, do a full preview. And who knows? Maybe there'll be a trade that'll pop up that we're not seeing coming. Time will only tell. But we know right now that Buffer is so anxious to go to the world of Major League Baseball.
2-2, he got him swinging. The back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray. There's damage right there. Shohei, way, Cy-Yo, nada, where did that land? Stuck to Chapman, who leaps up and grabs it.
Story spins and fires, out at first.
There it goes, see ya. Home run, Aaron Judge.
All right. So a big weekend is upon us for the New York Yankees. Off day yesterday. We know the disaster of a road trip it's been. You're playing very weak competition, and you only go 3 and 4. So you hate to see that. But you do have an opportunity in front of you, especially, if you have a really good weekend, sweep the Rays, maybe, your league goes from 6 to 9. I mean, that's a season changer. Buffer has a couple more comments.
I wanted to wait for baseball because,
yes,
that's just how we do it.
Let's see what we got.
The Rays trimmed 9.5 games off the Yankees lead over a 44 game span. Yankees got 10 wins, 19 losses in August. Yankees paid Tiffany prices for Sam's Club ball players. They should have signed Freddie Freeman last year.
So a couple things here, Buffer. Number one, I mean, the standings are what the standings are. We just have to focus on what's in front of us. So obviously, to have that many games cut off a lead is tough. There's no two ways about it. But I mean, it's, if you start playing the way that you could play right now, at the end of the day, that's not going to matter. As annoying as it was, as frustrating as it was. But I have to admit, I've been thinking for 2 weeks that time was coming, and obviously it hasn't come yet. But I do just think, playing the Rays, and then the fact that you get some extra juice by calling up third-ranked prospect Oswald Peraza, who had an outstanding year at AAA. 19 home runs, I think over 30 stolen bases. So gives him that speed, power element. And then, we'll see how much they play him. But I mean, IKF has just been so bad that I wouldn't be surprised, especially if Peraza has success early, maybe he homers tonight or something, that he ends up seizing that starting role for now. The only tough part is they added him after September 1st. So he's technically not eligible for the postseason roster unless there's an injury, which is really tough if he lights the world on fire. But hey, we need help right now. We need, offense, and let's just see what he does, and then we'll worry about the rest, when it happens. Some bad news. Anthony Rizzo had stayed behind in California to have his back spasms checked out. And Aaron Boone indicated yesterday that he actually might miss this series this weekend. So obviously that's a loss, but you have your horses, you have Judge, you have LeMahieu, and you have Stanton, just to name a few guys, but you need them to do their job, and the rest I think will take care of itself. Just in terms of Yankees paid Tiffany prices for Sam's Club ball players, they should have signed Freddie Freeman last year. I mean, I think really the biggest problem, if we're talking about what they did last year, because I mean, they didn't really add that much salary other than Josh Donaldson. I mean, obviously we know before that was an awful move, and we hope we can get rid of him this offseason. Might be tough unless he has a big postseason. Everything else, they did these contracts years ago, but a lot of money coming off the books, Zach Britton off the books, Aroldis Chapman off the books, potentially even Anthony Rizzo if he opts out of his contract. So a lot of money is going to be freed up. And, you say they don't grow any top players since Judge, Jeter, Williams, and Pettit. That is true, but also that might be changing because, we're going to see Oswald Peraza tonight. Oswaldo Cabrera has made a really big impact so far, and they're kind of waiting for him to really find his groove at the plate. He has had some hits, but the majority of his impact has been defensively, and his versatility is unbelievable. So if you figure if he's here to stay, if Peraza's here to stay, and then Anthony Volpe moved up to AAA with Peraza getting called up. So hopefully he'll have an impact. Ron Marinaccio, that's a guy that's homegrown. So it'll just be interesting to see Clark Schmidt, former first-round pick, and his preferred ads, George Steinbrenner rolling over in his grave. I have been saying that since we started this show. And it's the ineptitude of Hal Steinbrenner, the non-aggression, and the non-ability to show that he really, really cares about winning. And, you don't get that feeling with him that you got with George. George, you feel like would literally be sick to his stomach not winning. Hal, he just, I don't know if you saw this, but he just invested $120 million into AC Milan. Yeah.
And he won't.
Yeah. Oh, well, no, we can't give Judge whatever he wants. He is a loser. I mean, it's unbelievable. But I don't know. Maybe he'll see after the time this season is over that he doesn't have a choice. I mean, he should know that now because the marketability, all the money, all the seats that are sold because of Judge, geez, he's got his own section in Yankee Stadium. You would think he would be able to determine his value based off of that. But, obviously we got to worry about that when it's time, but obviously, there's a task in front of us right now, and it's this weekend against the Rays. And to just kind of give everybody, a synopsis of what we're looking at here, pitching matchup for tonight, Domingo Germán, who has pitched very well his last few turns, going up against Jeffrey Springs, who's definitely had success for the Rays this year. Doesn't give him a ton of length. He's been in the bullpen, but if you look at just in totality here, 101 innings, 110 strikeouts, 2.76. So obviously that looks like a guy that, the Yankees would struggle against. But, you can get to him. You just have to be strategic, and I expect them to do such. Herman, after his good run here and, missing all that time in the first half, sits at 2-2, 3.19, over 42 in the third inning. So, with Taillon, I don't think they've confirmed he's not going to miss his next start. So you definitely want Herman to be a driving force, and especially after what you did with Montgomery. And I just think, this weekend, I just really think we're going to see, and I think a big part of it is Peraza coming up. I think that just shows, the guys, listen, you got to perform. We're going to have someone take your spot. And I think, IKF has to know that, especially he might luck out because Peraza might not be eligible for the postseason roster, but the rest of the season, I mean, he's really looking at a timeshare here, I think. So that game's at 7:10 tonight. Tomorrow, 6:10, Clark Schmidt versus a TBD for the Rays. So whether that's a minor leaguer, whether that's an opener, we'll have to tell. And then former Yankee Corey Kluber on the mound Sunday, 140 versus Frankie Montas. And it looks like Taillon is confirmed for Monday. So I guess he's okay. I mean, that looked pretty bad at the time, just a hard liner off the forearm, but it looks like he's lined up to pitch, which will be great. But Frankie Montas on Sunday, I mean, 7.10 ERA, and I think it's 25 innings since joining the Yankees, whatever it is. I mean, he's got to be better. I mean, that's it. They gave up a lot of guys. We saw Ken Waldichuk struggle a little bit with his control in his A's debut yesterday, but he was a top pitching prospect for the Yankees, so the A's benefit from that. We've seen JP Sears, what he's done, and Luis Medina hasn't made his major league debut yet. So Montas, I mean, really is going to have to turn it around quickly for this trade, not to be a complete bust. But I think at the end of the day, you look at these matchups this weekend. I mean, it has to start with a win tonight. I mean, it absolutely has to start to a win tonight. We can piece together the rest. And really, I mean, we haven't had a sweep in so long. I mean, that would just really set the tone, finish off this road trip right. But I think if we get 2 out of 3, that'll be pretty good. Get that lead back up to 7. So let's just focus on that. And I do think, though, tonight, they are going to start with a win. I think, we've seen Herman, he's pitched very well recently, and I see no reason why he can't continue that. So I want to say, he's going to give him 6 innings, 2 earned, 5 strikeouts, 4 hits, 1 walk. And then offensively, I think Peraza gets to start at short. Cabrera gets a start. They each have 2 hits. So Peraza picking up his first major league hit. Aaron Judge ties his career high with 52 home runs from 2017. And I want to say Yankees 5, Rays 2. Clay Holmes' first save since coming off the injured list. And that is going to be the start. This has to be the start. If it's not this weekend, I don't know if it's going to happen. Honestly, a turnaround. It really has to be right now. And, we know August, has been, it was historically bad, 10-18, but obviously new month here. So you want to have a strong September. And I mean, what's your thoughts here, Michael? I mean, of all your years of watching sports, I mean, obviously baseball has more games than anybody, but do you feel that sometimes, and I know it seems convenient and it seems like an excuse and it seems like coach speak, but that teams that end up going the distance need to face adversity like this, and that it makes it stronger. It's a learning experience. And it almost makes them better, because if you just win 120 games in the regular season, face no adversity, the playoffs might be tough. That this almost might be better in a sense, as painful as it is for us and for them.
100%. They're not happy. They don't want to be losers. They're not losers. They didn't get this far being losers. And I always all championships have adversity. You always watch the film tape, like the films after they win the championship, And they all show either in the beginning or in the middle somewhere a tough stretch that they get through. And then in the playoffs, it helps them learn to win those games.
Right. So that's got to be the hope, and we know, we got help coming back. Sevy and Nestor are going to be big. And then let's see if Harrison Bader can get on the field. I haven't seen an update recently on him, but he's supposed to be, elite in center field and, hadn't really come around with the bat before he went down with the injury. But we do have, let's see, NewJersey.com. Let's see what we got for injury updates here. So Bader has been hitting off a tee for a few days. It might be less than a week away from beginning a rehab assignment. Bader will definitely need a few minor league games before coming off the IL. So you expect within 2 weeks. So that'll obviously be big. And we'll see. Maybe Aaron Hicks gets designated for assignment. Who really knows? But so you got him. And then I'm just seeing if we have any. Matt Carpenter. That's somebody that I forget about. He'll be re-examined in early September to find out how his fracture is healing. He could get the go-ahead to resume baseball activities. Yankees are confident he'll return at some point in September. It is kind of, I don't know if it's a coincidence or not, but this bad play, I mean, it had started a little bit before, but it really has been highlighted since he's went out of the lineup. A veteran that was on fire, good energy. He goes down. He's missed the last 21 games, and you think about their August, 10 and 19, 29. So a week after the week before the injury this started. So, and obviously is extended into that. He had some big hits, hitting well over 300, slugging a lot. So that could be someone that could help them, but they got to get there first. And I just feel good that that Peraza is up because I really didn't see it coming. I really thought they were going to try to manipulate that service time, but they know they need a spark, and I think he provides them that. And I just can't wait to see how he performs this weekend. So, we'll see. I know I'm reaching for the stars here, but I'm feeling the sweep. I really am. I feel like they're going to sweep them. I just think they're just so sick of this. And they know that they're a better team than the team that's went 10 and 18. It's that simple. And it just has to start now. I mean, the time is now and that's it. And, it's been tough for me. I'll be the first person to admit it. But in the back of my mind, no matter how distraught, that I've gotten about their performance, in the back of my mind, I just have always felt that it has to end sometime. That's the whole key here. It has to end sometime. So let it be this weekend. And then, you get Minnesota, and then you got to play the Rays again. So some big games coming up with the Rays. We'll see what happens. Prefer says $120 million for a soccer team. Yanks could have signed Scherzer for 3 years. Definitely could have. I would have liked Scherzer. They were never in the conversation for him. And yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, how's a joke? But I think despite all of that, just because of Aaron Judge, that's our best shot right there. Aaron Judge leading the way, and what a story it would be to cap this year off with a championship, all they've had to endure. So we will have to see what happens. And we'll recap it next week, and hopefully it's some good news for a change, because it seems like it's been quite a while since we've had that. And speaking of good news, and I know Prefers cheesing over there, but the Mets did win yesterday, did take 2 out of 3. So I'll be the first to admit was wrong about that. Really thought they were going to get swept. They lose that first game and win 2 tight, close games, yesterday and Wednesday, to take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. So, you look at yesterday, you had Chris Bassett on the hill versus Clayton Kershaw. And, despite coming off the injured list yesterday, you felt like, the Dodgers, have the upper hand here. And I definitely did not expect them to lose, but you look at what Bassett did against a team with the best record in Major League Baseball. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, picked up his 12th win in the 5-3 victory. And you had the invincible Edwin Diaz give up a run in the 8th. They're able to work around that. And then as far as the offense, I mean, only 6 hits, but they made, advantage of those, scoring 5 runs, and the bullpen, other than Diaz, really did their job. Trevor May, and then he had Adam Ottavino actually pick up the save, his 3rd of the year, striking out 2. And the Kershaw, the 5 innings, the 1 hit, the 3 walks, the 6 strikeouts. That was a good performance, but the bullpen just didn't do their job. Martin and Ferguson give up 4 runs over 2 innings. I mean, that's just not going to get the job done. So the Dodgers have a very disappointing series, loss to the Mets. But at the same time, they're so far up in the standings. This doesn't really hurt them. But I'm interested to see. We had the Braves win yesterday, so believe it's still 3 games if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna just double check this here. Yeah, so it is 3 games. Braves, both teams 6-4 of their last 10. So Nationals this weekend, very big step down in competition. Is this the spot where the Mets let up? I mean, almost got into trouble against Colorado, ended up taking 3 out of 4. But you think there might be some complacency here. The Nationals have been beat up all season. They can't wait to get the season over with. But at the same time, they want to play spoiler in the month of September. You can't rule that out. And right now, David Peterson gets start versus Josiah Gray tonight, 7-8, 4.67. This could be a spot. I know Tony and Prefer are probably laughing about this, but I'm just saying, would we be that shocked, when we're back here next week that the Mets end up losing 2 out of 3? I mean, crazier things have happened. Braves are playing the Marlins. Tough spot tonight. I mean, you're facing Sandy Alcantara, but the Marlins' offense is so weak, and Charlie Morton has looked a little better. So, the Braves, I could see them sweeping the Marlins despite Alcantara on the mound. I mean, the Braves just look so good recently. And I'm just interested to see what the Mets do this weekend. I think this is big. I think, you really can't play down to your competition. And I think there's a chance, of that happening. We'll obviously give them their chance here to see if they could just step up. I mean, obviously, if they sweep the Nationals, I mean, that's answering the call. And, they have to play Pittsburgh, Miami, Chicago, Pittsburgh. So really a light schedule here. So just going to be interesting to see, do they get up for every game? On Saturday, you have actually 2 former teammates facing off in Max Scherzer, Patrick Corbin. Obviously, Corbin has been the worst starting pitcher in Major League Baseball this year. But hey, is he law of averages? Is he due to have a good one? Who knows? I mean, Scherzer obviously has pitched well for the Mets this year. And then Carlos Carrasco, one of Prefer's favorites, comes off the injured list on Sunday to face Eric Fetty. So, I mean, you look at this, I mean, it's going to be pretty disappointing for the Mets here to not, sweep the Nationals, not take 2 out of 3. But I don't know. I know I always say stuff like this, but I really could see them losing 2 out of 3. We'll see what happens. But the panic will set in, especially if the Braves sweep the Marlins, then the lead would be down to 1 game. So that would really be something. But we'll have to see, what happens. And I know, we were talking about this yesterday, and I never got to hear Prefer's thoughts on this, but I was riled to hear, Michael, that you agreed with me regarding the Willie Mays catch being a little overrated.
Yeah, just a little bit. I think it's all name.
But isn't it too, like, there always is this thing, and I know we kind of do it sometimes, like with music and stuff, but there's always just this thing that people this day and age can't be better than the old days. Why? No matter if we're talking about quarterbacks, we're talking about point guards, we're talking about centers, baseball players.
I know.
Everybody has an obsession with the past.
I don't know what it is.
But yeah, it's
crazy though.
I just really thought, Mays, he was kind of running. What would you say, 60%, 70%?
Yeah, jogging.
And you've heard for years, right? Probably without even seeing the highlight. Oh, Willie Mays catch. And it's just like, I don't know. I just think, it's kind of crazy, but that was definitely fun. Pulling up those highlights yesterday, and I'm sure we'll have some more of that.
Oh yeah.
When do you have? I mean, I'm sure obviously basketball being your number one thing, but when you're looking up footage, highlights, do you have something specifically that you kind of focus on or that you look up that you enjoy watching the most? Like when you're searching like older basketball highlights, like are you searching players or you're searching?
I like watching like championship runs, like the movies about it. Like,
yeah,
because they usually do a good job of putting in the history of the team. Like there's like Dallas Mavericks one comes to my mind, 2010.
Yeah.
And it's like in the beginning, it shows the whole history of the Mavericks, how Cuban got a hold of them and like all the struggles and then getting Dirk and Steve. And then finally it's that season. Like they show all the heartache of Dirk, losing to Golden State. Remember that the Baron Davis team in the first round, all those heartaches. And then to Dwayne Wade in the finals, and then to actually show off the whole championship run. Like I like how they do the player interviews, they show behind the scenes footage, dude. It's dope. They do a really good job.
And I'm sure this doesn't surprise you, but I love those type of things, but still have not watched The Captain because I'm just so want that right now. And I'm just, it's going to make me sick watching it because it's just
maybe it'll reinvigorate you.
I don't know. I'm just the Yankees have just stressed me out so much this year that I just need to save that for the off season.
I see what you're saying. So you have something.
Oh my God. But I mean, I know you're riled up though. Like, honestly though, because like, I know you always give it to me straight. Like, step up in competition this weekend. Does it almost make them play better? Backs against the wall.
Yeah.
What do you think is gonna happen over these 3
sweep
games? Yeah,
I was gonna say like you're gonna see like a explosion one game in terms of like 9 runs type of a game. Really get the vibes up again, and then just like solid play 3-0, 4-1 type of games. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like they're like close, but not really, because the Yankees are just playing perfect. Like they're not like giving any wiggle room. Like the other team is going to play well, but they're going to just play that much better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they have to. They absolutely have to. And I think it's just, I mean, from playing basketball all these years, like if you ever go through a slump or whatever it is, you're so ready to start that good stretch. It really, as it goes on longer, the slump, it excites you for the other side of it to happen, and you want it so bad, and you just really make it a point to turn it around,
especially like when you have a chance. Like they certainly have a huge chance. It's not like they're not in the playoff hunt, type of a team, because then that sucks.
What do you think about inquiring about a downtime fantasy football league?
Oh, I'd be down.
Yeah, I mean,
is he going to be in it?
That he wants to join.
Okay, yeah, we could totally do that.
All right, let's set that up next week. We're gonna get you on the basketball court too, though. I mean, I know you said you were here when he was talking about that, right?
I don't buy it.
You want to see the jumper? Yeah,
I need to see it.
Yeah, can you send us a video of you hitting a jumper?
We don't even know if he's real. That's the craziest thing.
Like this could be a bot the whole time.
Imagine,
because he never calls in.
Never.
Like one time before, and it's always this. It's always that. But why can't you just video in? I mean, we'd stay on right now if you said you were going to video in.
100%.
But I guarantee he doesn't even comment about this.
I know.
We'll give it a second to catch up to it. But I guarantee there's not even a response to this. But also, you could be the commissioner of the Fantasy Football League.
Easily.
Just call in. All you want, quick minute conversation, little introduction, but here we are. Do we get it? Does it happen this month? Do we finally get him to do it? I know it's not happening right now. I just feel that.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe
if he joins, smart. Barnes will run circles around me. I guess he's talking to. I don't know. Is he talking about fantasy football?
I don't know. I'm if either or. I'm confused.
Yeah, but also, what does that have to do with videoing in prefer?
I know.
Can you answer the question, bud?
I just think he's nervous. I don't know. It's probably it's got to be someone we know or something. I don't know.
So you don't think his name is actually prefer?
It could be. And if it isn't,
I'm talking about calling in. That's what he said about me running circles. Prefer, no one's running circles, all right? I mean, maybe if you start kind of, going nuts about the Mets, I might have to say something, but it's like.
You know what I just noticed? His last name is The Hobbit. Interesting. Prefer The Hobbit.
Prefer. Can we at least listen? We'll give you some time to prepare. Can you at least just promise us you'll call in next week?
We can't be in a league with the dude we don't know.
Yeah, prefer. Come on.
Like, you have to prove you're real. Like, even people on Michael K's show and those shows, they have fans in their fantasy leagues, but they know they're real people.
Yeah, they hang out with them. They go to baseball games.
Yeah.
I mean, prefer. I mean, at this point,
sleep on it, prefer. You got all weekend.
We're working on almost 2 years of prefer.
Almost
2 years of prefer.
He had like a year gap.
And all right, so we're holding you to it, prefer. We're going to be pretty disappointed next week. Oh, he said I will call in, but sound like a girl. So, all right. So, I mean, hey, let's do. I mean, you want to just a quick call in right now, prefer? I mean, we're ready. Numbers across the screen.
Ready.
Let's hear it. Prefer. Just a quick call. We want to hear it. Let's see. We'll give you. I would do. You have that soundbite for the music, right? Like the Jeopardy.
Jingle? Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well,
what do we want to connect Bluetooth real quick?
Okay.
Just in case he does.
And tell me when you're ready, because I'm going to give him 60 seconds on the clock.
Okay, I will. Roadcaster 2. About to connect. We're connected. I hope he wrote Jeopardy for this. Reverb.
I'll call it next week. All right.
Oh. All
right. Prefer. Okay. All right. So.
All right, that's fair. We're holding you to it, and then
Tuesday.
We can start the league.
100% Tuesday. Prefer. Mark it down. Get ready.
Yeah, it has to be Tuesday because then we have to make the league.
Exactly. No voice scrambler. Okay. So. Michael, what would you give a percentage so that we get the call on Tuesday? If you had to give me something.
Like 10%.
10%. All right. I'll give prefer 31%. All right. A little under a third, but we're giving them something.
I like it.
So prefer, don't disappoint us, but also prefer. Thank you, of course, for tuning in once again. And we really want you to enjoy your weekend. Everybody out there, enjoy this weekend. Be safe, and continue to comment, like, and subscribe, as well as check out the archives on our YouTube page. That's Summer Collection at downtimetv.com. But let's go Yankees. Let's get the sweep, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our